Welcome today to our inspirational game plan, little thoughts that I have during the week. I want to share something with you that in particular I think has been a real tough week for me. Maybe some of you out there have been going also through a real tough week. If any of you are obviously are NASCAR fans, follow the sports media in some way, you've kind of saw what happened to us during this past week. And I want to kind of share with you my thoughts on it and maybe in some way kind of give you my feelings and how we worked our way through it. The bottom line of what happened was in our nationwide series, which is the smaller series that we race in, two of our crew chiefs made a decision to try and circumvent the rules of NASCAR with the dyno test. Now, having said that, I want to explain to everybody, it had nothing to do with the race. So in the race, we finished second, we finished sixth, our two cars did, and it had nothing to do with anything to do with the race. It was after the race where they take our cars, they try and test the horsepower on a dyno. Two of our employees tried to circumvent that test by putting some little spacers on there so the gas pedal wouldn't go all the way down. Now, having said that, I want to explain to you kind of what had taken place there. And then I want to kind of give you my feelings on it and the ramifications for that. Now, first of all, when something like that happens and you got a team, like our team here, there's 450 people. Well, in a way, everybody gets labeled with that. In other words, they say, hey, you tried to cheat on something. Now, my approach on that had always been to our employees that if this happens, if you purposely try and circumvent the rules in some way, by trying to plan something, make something to try and circumvent the rules, I pretty much always said, then I have no choice, I'm going to let you go. But when you stopped and thought about it, I want to kind of give you my reasoning of why I did not do that. These two employees have been two of our best. They're upright guys. They stood right up after this happened and said, hey, look, it was us. We did it. It was our fault. Don't blame it on anybody else. So they took responsibility. That was first. Secondly, I really felt like they were sorry. They had remorse. They repented of what they're doing. They looked at us and said, hey, look, we're genuinely sorry about this. We realized, I'm not sure they realized at the time, all the ramifications this would have to a company like this that races. We got sponsors involved. We got sponsors we're doing contracts with. You know, it's our relationship with NASCAR, which is very important to us. And having said that, we spent 17 years developing and building our relationship with NASCAR. Think about that, 17 years. On our Cup side, the big division that we've been in for 17 years, we've never had any crew chief suspended over there. No disciplinary action from that standpoint on that side. Now, from time to time, we had a driver that did something where he got put on probation or something, but nothing like that. 17 years have been building that relationship, and what I told these two young guys, with one fell swoop, one bad decision, you take that away. So basically, explain that to them. They did repent. They did say we're extremely sorry. I think their actions showed that. So then, for us here at the race team, I got to make a decision. Sometimes it's easiest to say, hey, we're just going to let them go. I didn't feel like that was the right thing to do in this case. And so basically what I said to them was this is very serious for us. I want you to understand how serious it is. Whatever the penalties are from NASCAR, we're going to add to it. The race team is. And the penalties were substantial from NASCAR, and we added to it, both financially and time missing from the track. And so, you know, I kind of looked at them and I also explained to them, being young guys, I said, look, you're always going to be under pressure. When you're leading something, or you're the captain of something, or you're the leader of your team, there's always going to be pressure. You know, we're always going to be up against it. Do we try and take an easier way to make money? Or do we try and circumvent a rule? I told them, you're always going to be faced with that. And somewhere in there, there's got to be a small, still voice that tells you, this is wrong. You got to stand up and say no. And so basically what we tried to do is with these two guys, I felt like it was best for our organization and for them to add extra penalties to it. They will be in a penalty mode for a long time and for the rest of this year and starting into next year. And hopefully it's something we can learn from and something that will never happen again here. Now, having said that, I thought back to one thing that, from a biblical standpoint, and that was the life of David. I take great heart in David and his life, because if you take a look at him, he had a lot of serious failures, didn't he? At one point, he was, he committed murder. At another point, he committed adultery. I mean, this guy had a substantial period of his life there where he created sin and violated God's principles. But when you take a look at that, when he was confronted with this, what did he do? He repented. He was truly sorry. He went back, threw himself at God's feet. And basically what he said, God, is I sinned. And so by doing that, I think it was interesting, and I think he meant it. And I was studying in J. Vernon McGee about David's life. And if you notice from that point on in the Bible, from that point on, there was nothing said about sin or shortfallings in David's life. In other words, he had truly learned from his mistakes. He had repented, and his life exhibited that. And you know what? Besides that, God said, that's a man after my own heart. And so I think hopefully that's what this can be for these young guys. It can be a lesson learned, never going to happen again, truly repentant, and I'm going to make sure that for the rest of my life when they work in this sport that this cannot happen and will not happen again to them. So a tough week for us. I hope you had a better week than that. We'd love to send you some material at joegibbsonline.com. If you would, please contact us. It's free. We just send it to you. It has no strings attached to it or anything. And we look forward to seeing you next time.